Welcome to the Caribbean Cowboys TNA!
On 5. On 5. On 5.
Welcome back to Caribbean Cowboys Treasures and Adventures. It's Gatorbait here along with Gitmo, and we're really excited today to bring you an amazing procedure that over the years we have been collecting some amazing encrusted objects, or they're also known as EOs. And what we want to do today is we are going to together discover what is under all of these encrusted objects, what they are.
Gatorbait and I have been on adventures in Florida, in Puerto Rico, in Cuba, just back from Italy, and we've gathered some really cool encrusted objects, and we've been waiting for a long time to find out what they are. And now we're going to bring them to life. But first, we're going to introduce you to an expert who's going to help explain the process. We're going to bring aboard Dr. Strangelove.
On 5.
We're here with our expert chemist, Dr. Strangelove. He's going to walk us through the process of removing the incrustation from these EOs and conserving these very neat, unique artifacts. Take it away, Dr. Strangelove.
Thanks, Gatorbait.
Thank you.
All right. So what I'm going to talk about, I'm an expert in chemistry, multiple kinds, but what I'm going to talk about today is removing the limestone buildup from these EOs. So what we got is we got a lot of buildup over God knows how many years going on here. So what we're going to do first is we're going to bathe these bad boys in hydrochloric acid. Now, some of you all might know what hydrochloric acid is. If you own a pool, it's also known as muriatic acid. Now, we want to make sure that our EOs are in a single layer. You want to get liquid all the way around that. So we're going to put 2 gallons of hydrochloric muriatic acid on top of these bad boys, and we're going to add a little bit of water if we need to. Now, hold up. We got to be safe here. We don't want to die.
Safety is number one, okay? This is very important.
Yeah, we don't want to die. So you want to do this outside, well-ventilated area. We're down here, it's nice and breezy, we're outside, so we want to make sure you do it in an environment like that. When you're pouring the acid in, go slow. Don't get it to like shake around a lot, because that's going to release a lot of vapor. That's going to go in your nose, it's going to go in your eyes, it's going to burn like hell. You are not going to be a happy camper. So after we lay it on there, what's going to happen is muriatic acid, or the hydrochloric acid, is going to break the bonds of the crystals of the limestone. So what you're going to see is as they fall off, you're going to see like a powder in the bottom of the bin. And what that is that's the little pieces of limestone. Hydrochloric acid doesn't dissolve limestone, it just breaks the bonds of the crystals so we can expose what's underneath them.
Good point. Thank you for bringing that to our viewers' attention.
Thank you. After that, we're going to flood this bad boy up, fill it almost all the way at the top with water. Now what that's going to do is it's going to dilute it, and it's going to make it so it's safer for us to be around. After that, we're going to add some baking soda. Normal stuff, buy at the grocery store, hardware store, don't matter what it is. We don't care what brand it is either. So for every gallon of muriatic acid, you got to add 7 pounds of baking soda to neutralize the acid. That way, we stop the breakdown of the object and we make sure that we're all safe. Now, another safety point: when you add the baking soda, you got to make sure to back away. It's going to release a lot of carbon dioxide, the silent killer. Again, that's why you want to do this in a well-ventilated area. Pour some baking soda in. It's going to fizz like crazy. Walk away. When you hear the fizzing stop, come back, add some more until you get to 7 pounds, and then you basically just got salt and water.
Nice. And it is very important because our curiosity really gets the best of us sometimes, and you'd want to stand there over and watch the whole process. Not a good idea. So again, safety is number one. Please listen to Dr. Strangelove here. He knows what he's talking about.
Thanks for having me, brother.
All right, so let's get to it.
All right, and we're back. Now that we talk about safety, I summarized all the TLDR for you, so now it's time for some action. So Gatorbait here is going to take us through the steps while I talk about a little bit in the background. Gatorbait?
And as Dr. Strangelove had mentioned, safety is number one. So you can see I do have gloves on. We do have our trusty masks because this is going to create some fumes and we don't want to breathe this. And when we're done making the solution, we are going to move it away from other people. We're going to have it in the corner so that it can do its thing. So put my mask on.
So what we're going to do first is we're going to add muriatic acid. And he's going to pour it down the side of the bin so that all that splashing doesn't cause more fumes. We're going to keep those fumes to a minimum, keep our lungs healthy, keep our eyes safety, because we got to use our eyes for other things other than treasure hunting.
All right, so we're gonna start with the 2 bottles of muriatic acid here. And the first one, very carefully lift off the cap, and we are gonna pour it down the side. All right, let's get that plastic off.
On 5.
Here we go. Down the side, not directly on the object.
Now you see that yellow? That's the acid working already. This stuff works fast. Try not to breathe too much.
On
You can
5.
see the fumes rising up out of it. That's the stuff we got to be careful with.
On 5.
All right, first gallon done.
Now you can see that is bubbling pretty good. All those vapors, those are going to burn you. You want to stay away from those. Wind looks like it's going that way, so we're going to stay over here downwind.
All right, here we go with the second one, not on the items, on this corner. We don't want to pour it directly on the encrusted objects.
Be careful with yourself. Pour it closer to the edge. There you go.
On 5.
Back away, back away. All right, that's starting to smell a little bit. It smells a little bit like rotten eggs. If you're smelling rotten eggs, do it, make it like a tree, and get the hell out of there.
Definitely was smelling that for a second. But we're gonna take a break. We're gonna step away from the fumes, let them dissipate a little bit. Keeping the mask on, obviously, even though we're a good 15 feet away from our container. And then we're gonna add some water to make sure that they are completely.
Get a shot of this. Look how high this is bubbling up. This is why you want to make sure that you got a big enough container to handle them.
All right. So add a little bit of water. Yes.
Not yet.
Yeah. We're gonna give it a little bit more time to dissipate. So the water. Oh yeah, the water brings down the pH.
Yeah, so by adding the water, we're going to fill this up pretty high with water. We're diluting that acid out. It's reducing the pH. I got my mask on because the water is going to bust some of these bubbles, and that's where that gas comes out. Want to be safe all the time. After this, we're going to reduce the pH a little bit. We're going to pour on the baking soda, neutralize the acid, and pour it out and see what we've got.
So Dr. Strangelove, I have a question. So we have all this muriatic acid here cleaning off the incrustation. How do we neutralize it so that that acid doesn't continue to eat through the underlying metal in these objects?
Great question. What I did is I added a bunch of water, and what that does is it reduces the pH of the solution, makes it a little bit safer for us. Now to neutralize the acid completely, we're going to add some baking soda. Acid, base, all we're going to end up with is basically salt water, ocean water, and carbon dioxide gas. Now before you add that, we're going to add just a little bit of it scattered across the top. It's going to bubble. Those bubbles bursting, that's carbon dioxide. We don't want to breathe that. You can't smell it. All you do, you get woozy, and then you fall down, and that's it. Lights out. So
All right.
add some, run the hell away.
Step back. All right, here we go. All right, I'm gonna do just a little bit. That's about half the box, but as you can see, the fumes are coming out. So we're gonna let this settle, and then we'll put the rest of this baking soda in there. But you see how quickly that chemical reaction happened. Now, well, Dr. Strangelove, I'm gonna wait for your go-ahead to get back in there.
So I'm going to add a little bit of water, try to burst some of these bubbles, get that carbon dioxide to get away while we're far away, and we'll add the rest.
All right, go for it. Awesome.
All right,
Here we go.
hit it again.
Whoa, all right. I'm gonna have one more set try. See how quickly that chemical reaction happened?
This is why we want to do it all outside.
Yep. Do not do this inside. Always outdoors because of these fumes, all right? You don't want anybody getting carbon dioxide poisoning here.
Carbon dioxide poisoning, huh?
All right, we're gonna do the last portion of the baking soda. Here we go.
On 5.
A way, safety. Safety is key. Look at this violent chemical reaction, but we're going to have some beautiful objects at the end of this. We're going to have the grand reveal.
So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to fill up a bin with some clear water in it, some baking soda in it, so we can pull the objects out of the acid bath and put them in here to neutralize that acid, make them safe to handle, and that way we can have a look at what we've got now. What I'm going to do right now is I'm just going to fill up this bin with some regular garden hose water and wait and add some baking soda to it.
That's a healthy urine flow right there. No need to go to the urologist.
I know.
If your flow looks like this, then you're good to go, and you're probably a lot younger than we are.
Yep.
We've been letting our solution and our encrusted objects sit for about 20-30 minutes. We've neutralized the acid with a couple pounds of baking soda. And now what we're going to do is we're going to dump this solution on our friend's grass and hope that we don't kill it. You can take the mask off now, it's safe, we don't obviously have the fumes, and we're gonna hope our buddy doesn't kill us because this grass may turn brown instantaneously. So. Oh, there he is. I'm kidding, Todd, it's not gonna
You work the camera, I'll work the hose.
On 5.
But we want to spray it a little bit here just to make sure it goes down into the soil. We don't want anybody else stepping in this. You see it's got that green coloration for all the encrustation from being, very cool.
On 5.
Still smell the
Got
rotten egg.
a little bit of a
Rotten egg.
smell, rotten egg smell, but we'll survive.
Urban Cowboys, TNA, Treasures and Adventures. It's time for the unveiling.
Notice the gloves. Even though it's fresh water, we still want to be safe.
Well, on this piece here, we can see wood grain.
On 5.
Get a little closer.
You can see the metal spike right here, and you can see the wood. And it wasn't eaten away
See the wood grain.
because this was under the sand and then was exposed later.
This could have been part of a handle. If you take a look there, you can see it could have been a part of a handle or a grip on a ship. We've got the wooden grain right
The
there.
wood is exposed. All that incrustation has been removed. Let's take a look at the next one.
That, baby.
Look at that.
Look at
See
that.
here, we've gotten a lot of the incrustation off. It's chiseled away from that muriatic acid. And now you can see this beautiful iron spike.
Looking at potentially 300 to 400 years old on that spike.
On 5.
All right, Gator. What else we had in there?
Got a couple more pieces. Here's another one where some of the wood is exposed in the very end over here. Again, we're gonna have to let these sit in the. Oh, we have another guest. This is Hannikin. And you can see some wood coming out of here through the spike, but it's not all the way down to the base wood and the iron, so we're going to do a second round. Sometimes you got to do that, and we're gonna come back in another episode and show you the fully clean version. But let's see what else we got.
That. Look at that.
Here's another one right here. See, this is actually down to the metal, to the base metal, and you can see the wood right here.
Another spike.
Look at that. Beautiful piece of history.
Anchors away.
So our next adventure, Caribbean Cowboys, Treasures and Adventures.
Signing out.
On 5. On 5.
So as many of you can see, all of the incrustation was not removed. We only had them in that muriatic acid bath for about 30 minutes. And so what we're going to do is make another video showing the objects sitting in a second round of that muriatic hydrochloric acid bath for a couple of days. And then we are going to get down to a more detailed view of the underlying objects. So check out our second video, and thanks for watching.